Flooding emergency now overwhelming areas hit by Florence. Cities and towns cut off, the dramatic rescues, and long lines at the few stores now open as hundreds of communities prepare for more flooding in the days to come. Millions use it, and tonight a major new study on taking aspirin to prevent heart attacks. Does it work? This is what's playing out in communities all across the Carolinas and even into Virginia tonight. Unstoppable water swallowing up streets, covering roads, washing them away, isolating communities, leading to dramatic rescues, and the flooding expected to continue for days now. Those rescues happened all over the region today. Major interstates were disrupted as well. The death toll from this storm has grown to at least 16. In the town of New Bern alone, more than 4,000 homes have now been damaged. Power is slowly returning to some places, but still about 650,000 are without electricity, and thousands remain in shelters tonight. An impact on air travel as well. More than 600 flights canceled related to the storm today. Meanwhile, prayers and poignant moments from rescue workers on the job around the clock. Once again, we have our team fanned out throughout the area, and we begin with Gabe Gutierrez. Gabe?
Tonight, Florence's fury is not over.
With Gabe Gutierrez. Gabe?
Tonight, Florence's fury is not over. New water rescues are underway as rivers swell after torrential rain. In Rocky Point, North Carolina, the smallest evacuees were rushed to safety. Nadine Hayes woke up when the rising water set off her car alarm.
When we opened the door, that's when we saw all the water, and we were like, oh my God.
Among the greatest fears, the rising Cape Fear River near Fayetteville.
This storm has never been more dangerous than it is right now.
Dangerous and dramatic from the air. The Coast Guard on urgent rescue missions has plucked dozens of people from their homes. Others trapped after a giant sinkhole swallowed parts of the major highway. Some communities cut off.
It was waist deep inside the house, and then once we got off the porch, it was up to our shoulders.
We were with this swift water rescue team overnight as they evacuated desperate residents from Richlands, North Carolina.
Our rivers are already overflowing, and we're just going to get more water coming downstream, and it has nowhere else to go.
As crews scramble to restore power to hundreds of thousands of people in the Carolinas, there's now a massive run on food and gas. Lines stretch for hours.
A hot meal is going to be real nice.
If the wait for this slow-moving storm seemed endless, so did its aftermath. The rain has stopped, but the concern now is all that water heading downstream. The new river has overtopped its banks, and it's expected to crest at record levels in a few days. Kate?
All right, Gabe Gutierrez, thank you. In the coming days, the U.S. military expected to play an increasing role in the rescue and recovery efforts here. Today, our Pentagon correspondent Hans Nichols got an aerial tour of the area around Jacksonville, North Carolina, and Camp Lejeune with a Marine commanding general. Hans?
We're getting an aerial tour of Camp Lejeune so the commanding general can see just how bad the devastation is, both for the community as well as the surrounding area. And what they're seeing is a lot of flooding, but they continue to say that the worst is yet to come. Now, in terms of the Marines, they are waiting for authorization. They're waiting for tasking from the Department of Defense to go ahead and deploy their assets because they see a lot of water and they see a lot of damage. They're just waiting for the orders to go ahead and help.
Further inland, NBC's Carrie Sanders is in Fayetteville, North Carolina, about 90 miles from where I'm standing here, watching a dangerous situation potentially unfold. Carrie, good evening.
Well, good evening, Kate. Tonight, Fayetteville is in crisis, and it is only going to get worse. The Cape Fear River and Cross Creek raising more than 2 inches an hour. As we look from above, you can see downtown Fayetteville from a drone shot. You can see a good portion of the city is underwater. It started out that the Cape Fear River today was at 35 feet. It's now at 40. It will go up another 22 feet by Tuesday, cresting at a record 62 plus feet. Because of that, the authorities in Cumberland County went a mile inland from the banks of the river on both sides, telling residents they had to leave. 2,800 homes there, people taking off into evacuation centers tonight. This is a helpless situation as people watch this all unfold. Kate?
Yeah, Carrie, thank you so much. Along with all the heartache, there are a lot of stories of neighbors helping neighbors. On Friday here on Nightly News, I told you the story of Charles Powell, who spent $1,000 of his own money to rent a big pump to try to save his neighborhood from flooding. It seemed to be working at the time, but today, things got decidedly worse.
Oh, Charles, I'm just so sorry.
This morning around 1 a.m., Charles Powell's wife Katie woke him up. The rain was pounding down again.
It just wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't let up.
And the pump got overwhelmed?
And it just couldn't handle it no more.
Charles was heartbroken, frustrated that after so much effort for 48 hours, he just can't stop the water.
I just see it in your eyes how sad and disappointed you are.
It's all I can do not to try and let it overwhelm me. It hurts. It really does. I'm just not trying to let it get to me.
He's still unwilling to give up on his pump.
You still want to stay
I
keep it running?
still want to save it. It's just hard to let it go. I mean, if it any more than this right here, I'm going to have to walk away.
Their most important documents and possessions packed up in suitcases in case they have to abandon their home.
Where's the tipping point? If it's coming in the house. Comes in the house, you're out. Yes.
Katie is more hopeful, consoling Charles that maybe the rain will let up. The pump is still running, but impossible to walk to now. Their son brought a boat to refuel it. That'll keep it going through tomorrow. For the moment, it's all they can do. Charles tells me that he and his wife have decided to stay. They've sent their daughter to higher ground to another house. At last check, the water level was down a bit. We're crossing our fingers for them. WNBC forecaster Dave Price joins me now. And Dave, while the rain threat might be decreasing a little bit, the flooding threat is still far from over.
Florence isn't done with us yet, not by a long shot. As we head through the next several days, even more rain for the Carolinas north and south, making its way into Virginia. The system is going to creep along with heavy downpours, eventually shifting towards the northeast. Now, as we roll into tomorrow, that rain is going to spread from Virginia into West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and through that 95 corridor in the northeast. These are the remnants of Florence, but they pack enough moisture to cause some minor flooding in the northeast, so beware of that. Rainfall over the next 3 days, keep North Carolina in the mix right through Tuesday or Wednesday with additional accumulations of 2 to 3 inches, mountain runoff, and of course those rivers cresting. Pockets of heavy rain also from the northeast to New England. And keep in mind that Wilmington has now seen its wettest year on record. That record goes all the way back to 1877.
Wow. Wettest year, and we're in September.
Yes, we've got plenty to go.
Thanks so much. And tonight, the woman who has accused Supreme Court nominee